I'm sorry. What's up, nieces? This is Nadine. This is not one of those usual videos where Brandy and I make for commercial purposes. This is one of those videos that I have to make with a heart full of sadness. I know that you have seen videos about the drama happening in African shops where our client get disrespected, insulted, humiliated, and it has been the top one topic going on TikTok. I took my time, I watched it, and I'm here today because deep inside me, my whole soul wants to say, I'm sorry. I am truly sorry, and I'm the voice of those that could not reach you guys because I know our platform is very rich, and I hope that you guys should share this video to express how sorry we, the Africans, we, the immigrants, we are, because I do understand we have done so much wrong. Maybe some people before me, I want to join you in the fight, but not like that. I want us to change. This is a wake-up call for all Africans, immigrants in America. We're brothers. Respect is mutual, because at the end of the day, I don't think Americans hate us. They want that unity. They want to see that in real life. I have done so much community work because it's my way of expressing how you guys are supporting us for the past years. Sometimes words are not expressing what you feel. My actions speak louder than my words. And I have tried to do it for years. Those that follow me understand how much I value my clients. Today, I don't live for myself. I live for others. So on behalf of every business out there, a braiding shop, a grocery store, a tailor store, I, the Nadines today are saying we are deeply sorry for everything, and we are taking note, and we will show you the change because it's gonna start now, not on the 1st. I don't want to wait till August 1st. And everyone that listens to this message, you should be grateful for being in a land that they welcomed you. And the least we could do is to express our gratitude by being respectful to each other. God help us.
Hi guys, now there's a reason I started with playing you Nadine's video right here, and as you can see, this is a very humble woman apologizing, and then majority of you might not know what is happening in America today. Today is the 1st of August, and a lot of African businesses are going to face boycott from the Black Americans or the foundational Black Americans who are saying, you know what, enough is enough. We've had it with Africans, we've had it with their attitude, we cannot take it anymore, how they treat us, how they speak to us, and we have decided, you know what, we do not care if we are, you know, the same skin color, we are going to boycott their businesses. And I know you've watched this. There are a lot of TikTok videos that have been made, a lot of videos also on YouTube that are talking about this, and honestly, I don't think anyone was anticipating this, you know, a war between Africans and African Americans or Black Americans. And you might be wondering, where did all this start, you know, and what is the world saying about this? Well, Essence Festival culture this month, you know, had a lot of complaints. A lot of Black Americans had said, this is not a representation of Black Americans. This is a representation of African culture. I know you are shocked, right? Because now we have the Black Americans, we have the African Americans, and we even have the Africans. And a lot of Black Americans who are really pissed off because they do not feel like they connect with Essence Festival anymore. As a matter of fact, let me play you this video by this gentleman who was completely pissed off and called out the entire management or the entire organization of Essence Festival. And then we are going back to go, you know, just to talk about Nadine's video and share a few comments on what the world is saying and why this movement or why this boycott might not be the ideal situation for the Black person. So let's just listen in first to this gentleman, and then I'm coming back to read you a few comments.
Essence Fest is whack and wash now because it's run by a bunch of Africans. There is no Black American culture that is reflected in Essence Fest anymore. Essence's CEO is an African. The chief, I don't know, one of their chief top level executives and officers is an African. The person that owns Essence Ventures is an African. So what used to be a celebration of Black American culture, the culture that is ours, the culture that we built from the ground up, the culture that Black Americans influenced the world through, has now been co-opted by some African diaspora, Pan-African, whatever, and a lot of Black people are just not feeling it. Now, I went to Essence Fest for the first time a couple of years ago. I think it was like Nicki Minaj, New Edition, and Janet Jackson were the headliners. It was absolutely incredible. It was a celebration of Black Americanness. There were Black people in and up and through it. It was a pure celebration of Black American culture and Black American heritage. But now that it's been co-opted by a bunch of Africans, it seems that nobody cares because they don't set culture for this world. We do. And until Essence Fest gets back to the Black Americans who created it and founded it and lead the culture, it will continue to fail with those Africans in charge.
All right, so this is a video courtesy of Rob Smith, and I just don't want to repeat everything that he said. You know, he says the Essence Festival is now infiltrated with a lot of bunch Africans. And when you go to this video, guys, I would want you to go and just watch this from his TikTok, because there are a lot of comments, and not just comments, but a lot of mixed reactions. And he appears to be gaining a lot of support from other, you know, Black Americans. And someone here just said, you know what, I'm not African, not African American, I'm simply a Black American. My people are indigenous to this land, not Africa, right? So people are making it clear that, you know what, our people are indigenous to America, not Africa. Stop forcing this whole ancestry thing on us. You people, you say, you know what, we migrated from Africa. Of course, our ancestors were sold as slave to America, but our ancestors are indigenous to this land. And of course, with such statements, people are going to call you out because they are going to refer to your first names, your European names, and also a language that has no roots. But he does seem to receive a lot, and a lot of just a lot of people tend to agree with him, because even Kimi said, I am American, not African. My ancestors are American. So there is a lot of mixed reactions on should the Black Americans be allowed to say, you know what, this is America, and we are actually Native Americans. We are not Native Africans. We do not have roots in Africa. We do not care about African food. We do not care about African culture. So stop forcing this whole Africanization on us. We are Black Americans. We have our own culture. We have our own way of doing things, and we feel like, you know what, Essence Festival, that is our thing. And you know, like when you have like when you have like Nigerian events, like picture this, you have Nigerian events, you have Akina Davido or the Burna Boy, you actually have a Kenyan event with people like Sauti Sol, but then all you see people from LA or people from, you know, New Orleans, or people from different American states who are infiltrating those particular festivals. You are definitely going to catch a few feelings here and there. But back to Nadine's video and why people now want to actually boycott African businesses today. Some people, because this has also received a bit of mixed reactions, there are people who are saying we are going to boycott, and there are some people who are saying, you know what, this is nonsense. We are not going to boycott anything that is Black owned, because this is hypocrisy of the highest order. I mean, when Black Panther comes out, people don't say this is a Black American movie. People say this is an African rooted movie. So why are people allowing the divide? But back to Nadine, and as I was just researching on Nadine, you know, she has quite an interesting story. This is an immigrant from Cameroon who came to America in 2009 to study, but of course she experienced a few challenges here and there, and she went ahead and started braiding hair, and she could even get to braid 10 people's hair per day. Does that make sense? So obviously to her, this was an opportunity to create a business. And right now, she's one of the biggest entrepreneurs in Maryland. I mean, her salon is big, guys. If you're watching this on your screen, she hires all more than actually 150 people. And this was new to a lot of Americans because you are used to going to a salon and then having someone spend like 8 hours on your hair. But she made her salon a full walk-in. You do not need to book an appointment. You just need to walk in and you will have a group of ladies doing your hair or plaiting your hair. A journey, she says, she started with around $50 and now this woman is a multi-millionaire, you know. So obviously, it's a story that is bound to inspire so many people. So when she comes out and just apologizes, because people are telling her, Nadine, you've never wronged us, right? But unfortunately now, her business is an African-owned business. So people are calling also for the boycott of this big salon. And some people are confused. Is it that you want to boycott also her business? Or is this just jealous that you guys are feeling? Because some people don't understand how an immigrant who went to the US in 2009 is now a multi-millionaire, hires 150 plus women, and most of these women are just women who are trying to make it or asylum seekers in the country, and she has been able to give them some form of employment. So people are a bit confused here. If you want to boycott businesses such as Nadine's, this woman is obviously doing an incredible work, you know. Do you really want to boycott, or it's just that she's been caught up in all this mix where she has, as you listened to the video, she has to apologize on behalf of other African-owned businesses. But we also have to be honest about some of the videos that we've also watched on how African run businesses, because this is not the first time I'm hearing this, a Black American complaining of how they are treated in these spaces. And there's always that feel that Black Americans, okay, they don't actually belong to the African setup. These people don't even have their own culture. They are not rooted into any culture. And they've always felt like, you know, they've always felt like they do not belong. But they say a lot of Africans make sure that they know that, you know what, you do not belong. So when you go into an African-owned shop, obviously, if they are braiding your hair, they mistreat you, they gossip about you. These are some of the videos that people have actually shared. They even, like, you know, they make sure that the way they are doing your hair has some sort of pain. So there've been a lot of complaint, and now Black Americans are saying, you know what, enough is enough. You have to realize your dollars are the reason you're here. And if we take our dollars away, you guys have to go back to Africa. I'm not even kidding you right now. There's that whole conversation on you need to go back to Africa. Like, I did not imagine I would live to see a day where one Black person is telling another Black person, you need to go to Africa, back to Africa. Like, if you get it, you get it, obviously, you know. Like, I did not think I would see this day coming. But as I said, not all people are in support of boycotting these businesses. And I'm going to play you this video. But before that, let's just hear what this lady also had to say and why she wants to make sure that African businesses or African food places or African braiding shops, any business that is related to an Africa goes through the whole boycott that is happening today.
I'm making this video because I wanted to support Shea Shelf, who is promoting a protest for August 1st. Complete blackout on African braiding shops, restaurants, and stores, right? I'm absolutely here for this. I'm showing my support because I do this in my everyday life. I do not shop with the Africans. Ain't no African ever braided my hair, put their hands in my head, or none of that, right? I don't do the restaurants. I stopped like years ago. I do not shop with their stores. If I walk into a store and I accidentally realize, oh, not for me, right? So she's encouraging that we do an August 1st protest all through the month of August. I think it should continue throughout for the rest of the year, right? Let them really feel the heat, okay? Because they are confused about who they are, who we are, and what this is all about, right? They're so busy licking boots, they don't seem to want to give us our respect. They need a wake-up call, right? Because clearly they don't understand that the large majority of why you are even in the space that you're in is because of us. and that our dollars are the ones that pay your bills because we black them out, I want to see how many white people finna support y'all, right? I want to see how many of y'all businesses is really going to be able to stay afloat month after month of black people not supporting you, right? Like, let's really be about it. So in support of Shaya's shelf, I am even pushing past August, but it starts August 1st, okay? Complete, total blackout on Africans, period, okay? Let them know what time it is.
All right, so Sweet Baby is not even filtering anything. She's like, you know what, let them know what time it is. We are going to boycott these spaces. But it's very interesting because she says she does not go to these spaces. And one of the comments I saw on this video was someone asking her, how are you even going to boycott something that you've never supported in the first place? Because she says she stopped supporting African-owned businesses a long time ago. And now, of course, as I said, the comment section in these videos are so mixed, you know, because this is something that some people agree with and some people do not agree with, right? And also, one of the things, as I was just going through these videos, I found interesting is the fact that everyone tends to believe Africa in, you know, at large is just one country. I don't know how long we are going to have this conversation. Like, you have to say African owned businesses, maybe people from Nigeria or Ghana or Kenya or Tanzania or Uganda. Who exactly are you referring to, right? Because again, not all Africans have invested in the US. Different Africans from different African countries having it as a collective threat to all Africans, you know, for me just doesn't make sense, because which Africans are you referring to, from which country? And if this is one person's experience, or this is because service experiences are different. I might go to a salon, I do not like the service, but then again, does it make all Africans owned shops wrong, you know? So one of the things that people are also creating awareness on, can we please know which African countries are you guys talking about? Because it's 2025, we cannot keep referring to Africa as a country. You get what I'm saying? All right, but as I said, not everyone is in support of this movement. Of course, it's gaining a lot of traction on social media platforms such as TikTok, but a lot of people are really divided on which sides to take, because there appears to be truth on both ends. I mean, if you're going to mistreat people when they come to your shop, then you guys are going to be labeled and people are going to actually say you have an attitude, because some of the videos that we've watched, man, they are crazy. Those videos are actually crazy. So if you are going to treat these people and disregard their roots and culture and infiltrate their festivals, definitely they are going to catch a few feelings here and there. But let's see what Abibola said, and then I can be able to read a couple of comments. I can be able to read a couple of comments for you, and then you guys can also tell me on the comment section what are your genuine views on this, and also maybe touch on why some people think this is a CIA movement that is being pushed on black people so that it's black against black, and will this actually benefit us as black people collectively? But let's listen in to this lady and what she has to say.
I don't know about your FYP, but lately on my FYP, I have been seeing African Americans saying on the 1st of August, they're going to boycott African businesses because they're not American. I've been seeing a lot of those videos. They believe they're not Africans. Some were even going to the extent of saying they don't have African features. And African Americans don't come for me, but there's African American behind your, is it tied to your ethnicity, your background, but you don't think you're African. I'm not saying you're African like you were born in Africa. And by the way, Africa is a continent. There's like 54 countries in there. Yeah, just putting it out there. Okay, you guys, obviously some of you don't know your roots, some of you know your roots. I am so sorry about what happened decades of years ago to you guys. Okay, I apologize on behalf of our ancestors. I apologize, but this is the thing, you're African. Sorry to be a bearer of bad news. Yeah, you're African. Like, There's African American behind your identity. Yes, you might know you were not born in Africa like we were born in Africa, but your ancestors were from Africa. I don't know. American school system. What do they teach you? Actually, you know what? Scrap that. The white people have blown all school off. So I'm trying to like. And then some of the ladies are saying, I don't have, even men as well, I don't have African features. But some of you are traveling to Turkey to get your nose pointed because it looks too African and too. Am I bugging? Am I bugging? I'm not saying don't cancel African businesses. If you want to, by all means, but it's just the fact that you guys, I'm not saying claim African because you're not born there. You were not raised there. You don't know your background. You don't know where. I understand that, but it is still part of your identity. Are you African? Someone like me, yes, I know my background. I know where I've come from. I've come from Nigeria. I was born there. I grew up in England. My citizenship is not by birth. My children, however, their citizenship is by birth because they were born here. But are they going to go around and go, oh, I am British? Yeah, they are British because they were born here, but they're Black British, they're African British. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Am I making sense? African Americans? African Americans? Like, come on, you guys, like, stop. This is becoming ridiculous on this app. Like, come on. We're all this color. If we're this color, maybe different shades of melanin, we are one. Stop this. Stop.
All right, that is Abby. Guys, I don't know how to feel about her views because I don't think this is going to work if we continue attacking people based on what they believe in, right? But let me read you one of the comments that was left on this video, and this is made by Brit. And you guys just tell me what you honestly think about this comment. I found it really interesting. And made by Brit says, what makes us African? What African languages do we speak? What African passports do we have? What African food do we eat? What African customs do we follow? Having African ancestry and being African are two different things. We are not African. Our ancestors were. So she's making it clear that we are not Africans, but our ancestors are the Africans, right? We are Black Americans. Those countries you all claim did not exist when we were taken from Africa. Indians and Sri Lankans share the same skin color as us. Are they your African brothers and sisters too? There's nothing wrong with respecting cultural boundaries. We take pride in who we are now, not where we came from. Who we are now, guys, mark that, not where we came from. You all can do that because you are all immigrants, not us. So I think this is more of a belonging kind of conversations. We belong here. You do not belong here. You actually came and found us here. Yes, our ancestors might have been brought all the way here, but as we were born here, we do not know any African language, custom, food, so do not force this thing on us. But another comment I found interesting was from this lady, still under the same video, Umia, and she says, you all talk about our education, but you don't know anything about our history. You are driving this point about the label African American when many of us never subscribed to that label. I'm older than how long we've actually and legally been labeled as African American. Furthermore, you all want us to claim Africa so badly, but what country should we claim? Nigeria, the country that didn't even have the name until centuries after the transatlantic slave trade began. Many Black Americans have proof of our lineage, something a lot of you don't. We were not born in Africa, nor was our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, etc. At what point is it okay for a group to be okay with where they are all from? You all only do this to us. You all have no problem with Caribbeans now referring to themselves as Africans because you all don't acknowledge that they were part of the same slave trade. Please just leave us alone. Yeah, very much heated, because again, you're not going to force us to be something that we are not, and we are not going to accept this whole thing that you are trying to play on us, and this whole guilt tripping that you are trying to have on us. And we are not going to call ourselves African Americans. We are actually Black Americans. We have our roots here, and that's just it. But I don't know if I'm gonna find this video as I wind up, because someone here made a lot of sense, because she has actually lived it and she has seen it, and she's saying, you know what, we might not like each other, but how about we all respect that this is where this person feels like they belong, and not where you want them to belong, right? But again, you have people who are saying, if we share this same color, regardless of the melanin, guys, we are all the same, and you are not escaping from all this. Let me just see if I can find that video, and then we wind it up, and then you guys can tell me on the comment section your honest view when it comes to all this. Will you be boycotting African businesses in the US, or what are your genuine views when it comes to this move? Just bear with me as I find that last video.
Some of us Africans are real hypocrites, and I say that as a Congolese woman born and raised in Germany, so I'm including myself too. What I want to say is that we need to be a bit more sensible to one another, because it's not easy navigating spaces that were not built for us. This year, Essence Festival in NOLA went viral for many reasons, but what I want to speak about is this tension that came up because a lot of Black Americans felt like their space was being diluted and overshadowed by African influences. To me, this isn't about right or wrong. Hurtful things have been said on both sides, but they stem from rejection, and a lot of us Africans are the root of said rejection. For years, we've mocked them. For years, we've called them akata. We've told them that they don't know their roots, that they don't have culture, or made fun of them for not knowing where they're really from. Afro-Latinos versus Latinos, North Africans versus Sub-Saharan Africans, Africans living in the diaspora versus Africans living on the continent. It's always the same cycle of rejection, identity, pain. People just want to feel like they belong. People just want to feel understood. As a natural human response, when people feel they've been excluded for years, they're just going to create spaces that are exclusively built for them. And let's be honest, us Africans, we benefit a lot from Black American culture. We take from it all the time. Just look at me, the way that I speak, the way that I act, the way that I dress, the way that I do my hair, the way that I do my makeup. It's all been heavily influenced by Black American culture. The slang we use, the TikTok trends we follow, the dances, the music we listen to, a lot of that comes from them. So we can't keep benefiting from the culture and then get mad when the people, the originators of said culture is like, hey, this doesn't feel like it still belongs to us. And I also think it's important to remember from time to time that Black Americans are hundreds of years removed from the continent. They didn't leave voluntarily. They were taken by force, by slavery, through violence. So when some of them say that they don't feel like they're African American and they only feel Black American, can you really blame them? Controversial example, but take Donald Trump. His grandfather immigrated to the United States from Germany. That's only 2 generations removed. But you don't see Trump walking around identifying as a German American. He's just American because that's the country he grew up in. And that's the culture that he knows. Same thing goes for a lot of Africans in the diaspora. When you ask them where they're from, they're going to first mention the country that they live in, the country that they were born in, before they say, oh, but my parents are from. So why do we expect people who are hundreds of years removed to have the same culture, the same values, the same upbringing, this strong tie to Africa? It doesn't make sense. Yes, some do try to reconnect and some are interested to visit what they call the motherland, but it's not by force. Don't get me wrong, I am a Pan-Africanist. I believe in Black unity. Just look at what we were capable in 2020. What happened globally around George Floyd showed us what unity can look like. In that moment, No one cared if he was Dominican, African American, Black American, Ghanaian, Afro-German, Afro-Italian. That was a Black man. We all understood this could have been my father, my uncle, my neighbor. This could have been my brother. So how is it that 5 years later, this is where we end up? Like I said, I was born and raised in Germany, meaning that I grew up in predominantly white spaces. Went to predominantly white school, then later predominantly white private university. Yet I've always moved between cultures. So I'm very familiar to what it means to be too Black, not Black enough, not African enough, too African, depending on who I was around. So I understand that at the end of the day, we're all navigating identity crises. We just want to belong. We want to be seen, we want to be accepted, and we want to feel like what's ours is ours. Please, let's just be a bit more mindful of one another on both sides.
All right, so that's it from Anne. I believe her name is Anne, and you know, she's actually defending the Black Americans and just asking people to be more gracious and just respect Black American spaces, which I think is okay, you know. And as this happens, as we watch our Black brothers and sisters, you know, fighting and boycotting each other, one tends to wonder who is really benefiting from all this. And that's why some of the people have asked, could this actually be a CIA movement? Because at the end of the day, someone somewhere is sitting and they are laughing when they see Black people go to war with each other. If you boycott the African businesses at one hand, a lot of people are definitely going to feel the pain and they are going to feel the pinch. But on the other hand, if you continue disrespecting people who are actually benefiting your business, then at the end of the day, they are going to feel justified for what they are doing. And I honestly don't think anyone will win in this situation. If you ask me, it hurts everyone. It hurts the Black community. And I know everyone still feels the effect of colonialism. Whether you're from Africa or you're in America, you feel the effects of colonialism. And I get Black Americans are also pissed off because they say, you know what, we wouldn't be here if our forefathers did not sell us to the highest bidders, because they always feel that pain that, you know what, we were sold in this whole slave trade. We were actually sold and removed from our homes. So as this conversation happens, I think it's very important for us to be mindful of each other. It's very important for us to focus on how can we grow from this. Is boycott the only way to go about this, or can we have genuine conversations on how you treat us? This is not okay, and we expect to be treated better. And also the African Americans or the Africans would say, you know what, I feel like we've worked so hard to be in these spaces, to run these businesses. I mean, take a look at Nadine, all the way from Cameroon, making the best she can out of the little she was given. And I do not think it's fair that even her business, which has treated people with so much respect and dignity and created jobs for so many women, needs to suffer from all this. But as always, I would love to hear your thoughts on the comment section, and you guys just let me know, what do you think the right way towards this would have been, and are all parties justified to feel how they are feeling? The foundational Black Americans, are they justified to feel how they are feeling the pain, and are they okay to say what, you know, enough is enough? And should African businesses, especially in America, should they do better? And as I said, do you think this boycott is going to help anyone? Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your thoughts on the comment section, and do not forget our sponsors of today's conversation, that is TapTap. So if you happen to catch this from diaspora and you want to send money back home to your loved ones, feel free to use TapTap. Use my code Lynn, it's on your screen right now, for you to be able to get a bonus on your first transaction using TapTap. But if you're thinking of investing in a piece of land, guys, we have an amazing partner, that is Hekalu. The first project that we did with them is sold out, and we moved on to our second project that is showing on your screen. So if you're thinking in investing in a property that is land, why don't you check them out? The prices are on your screen, and you guys guys always feel free to give me feedback in regards to our sponsors. The details are on your screen right now. That is info@lnn.digital. Feel free, guys, to give me feedback regarding anything, even these conversations. And also thank you so much to Omega TV in the UK for lending us their studios. I know you can notice we are filming from a different location today. It's because we are still in the UK having different conversations with our brothers and sisters here. So thank you so much, Omega TV, for lending us your studios so we can be able to put this conversation together. Leave me your thoughts on the comment section, and hopefully I see you guys tomorrow 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe if you came all this way. All right, bye bye.